The state of California requires all cities and counties to prepare general plans that address future growth and change within their boundaries. Through their general plans, local jurisdictions establish a comprehensive vision of how their communities will evolve over the next 15 to 20 years. Per state law, general plans must address land use, mobility, housing, conservation, open space, safety, and noise. Local jurisdictions can address other topics in their general plans and often choose to do so. Guidance on the preparation and updating of general plans is provided by the California Office of Planning and Research. In 2016, the City of Oceanside initiated the first phase of a comprehensive general plan update, introducing two new general plan elements addressing economic development and energy and climate action. In this first phase, adopted by the City Council in May of 2019, the city also prepared its first climate action plan, which outlines a broad range of measures intended to reduce local greenhouse gas emissions in a manner consistent with state goals. The economic development element and the energy and climate action element work together to promote the triple bottom line of economic prosperity, environmental quality, and social equity. The second and final phase of the city's general plan update will include the updating of the city's other general plan elements, as well as the preparation of two focused planning documents that address the South Morro Hills area and the city's major commercial corridors. The tagline for this ambitious and multifaceted planning effort is Onward Oceanside, which speaks to the project's overarching goal of leveraging and building upon the significant progress the city has made in recent years in enhancing public health and safety, expanding housing options, expanding mobility options, creating new employment opportunities, improving visual quality, and preserving natural resources. The South Morro Hills area encompasses 5.5 square miles in northeastern Oceanside and is home to a variety of unique agricultural uses. In recent years, farming has become increasingly challenging and expensive in the region. The city prepared an agritourism strategic plan with the goal of linking agriculture and tourism to provide supplemental revenue for Oceanside's farming industry. Recognizing the need to plan for the area's future, City Council authorized preparation of a community plan to direct future land use and address topics such as agricultural conservation, large-scale agritourism uses, residential development, road and infrastructure needs, and community design. Supported by grant funding from the California Department of Transportation, the Smart and Sustainable Corridors Specific Plan will establish the policy and regulatory framework for infill and redevelopment within the city's principal inland commercial corridors, including the Mission Avenue Highway 76, Oceanside Boulevard, and Vista Way Highway 78. The principal goal of the Corridors Plan is to channel the bulk of the city's future employment and housing growth into the city's already urbanized areas, to take advantage of existing infrastructure, transit service, community facilities, and commercial goods and services. The Corridors Plan seeks to foster a vibrant and inviting public realm in these areas through more efficient land use, complete street improvements, and high-quality urban design. Considered the centerpiece of the general plan, the land use element determines the type of development and activity that can occur on all property within the city. This element promotes the coherent, balanced, and efficient arrangement of land use and development, allowing for synergies between complementary uses while averting conflicts between incompatible uses. The goals and policies of the land use element are meant to ensure that land resources are utilized in a way that contributes to public health and safety, visual quality, ecological balance, social equity, and economic growth. A key focus of this component of the project will be identifying adequate land resources for housing and employment uses. The mobility element will replace the circulation element, which identifies the key components of the city's transportation network and outlines goals and policies that promote safe, convenient, and efficient mobility options for residents, workers, and visitors. In keeping with best practices, the mobility element will be developed in close coordination with the land use element, thereby ensuring that the city's mobility network aligns with evolving land use patterns. While past practice in mobility planning has been to expand roadway capacity to accommodate more vehicle traffic, current practice focuses on identifying viable alternatives to automobile travel and reducing VMT, or vehicle miles traveled. The housing element's primary function is to identify the housing needs of Oceanside residents and provide strategies for developing and preserving an adequate supply of housing for all income levels. The state of California requires all jurisdictions to adopt a housing element every 8 years and provide a plan to accommodate its fair share of affordable housing, known as the Regional Housing Needs Assessment, or RHNA. This is accomplished through the Housing Sites Inventory, which identifies potential sites throughout the city to accommodate future housing. Sites are evaluated on criteria such as development potential, constraints, and proximity to public transportation. The housing element will include goals and policies to promote and incentivize housing developments on the identified sites. The community facilities element will include goals and policies that provide for the adequate provision of public services and facilities to serve the existing population and support new development in an efficient and orderly manner. Although the community facilities element is not required by state law, the topics addressed in the element are integral to the city's overall planning efforts. The community facilities element will guide the city's investment in public safety facilities, right-of-way improvements, libraries and other educational facilities, cultural venues, public transportation, community health and wellness facilities, drainage facilities, and water and sewer infrastructure. This element will evaluate the capacity and quality of existing community facilities and establish goals and policies to ensure that the city continues to provide a high level of service to residents, workers, and visitors. Combining two state-mandated topic areas, the conservation and open space element will include goals and policies that balance the conservation of natural resources and public spaces with the physical and economic development of the city. This element will guide the stewardship of watersheds, soils, wildlife, air quality, and other features of the natural environment while promoting the long-term preservation and management of open space areas that provide for recreation, social interaction, biodiversity, commerce, visual quality, and both climate change mitigation and adaptation. The city's first priority is to protect the health and safety of residents and other stakeholders. The safety element addresses this priority concern through goals and policies intended to reduce the potential risk associated with fires, floods, droughts, earthquakes, landslides, climate change, hazardous materials, and other threats. Featuring several watersheds, steep slopes, and offshore earthquake faults, and bordered by wildlands and the Pacific Ocean, the City of Oceanside is vulnerable to a wide range of natural hazards. As some of these natural hazards may be intensified by climate change, the state requires that the safety element assess the possible impacts of this phenomena and outline policies that enhance the city's resilience to sea level rise and other climate-induced hazards. While noise is an inherent part of urban and suburban living, excessive noise can have profound adverse impacts on public health, quality of life, and economic development. The noise element seeks to limit the community's exposure to excessive noise, particularly in noise-sensitive areas and at noise-sensitive times of the day. Sources of potentially excessive noise include roadway traffic, aviation, passenger and freight rail operations, industrial activities, capital improvement projects, military operations, and outdoor commercial and recreational activities. The noise element will identify these and other sources of noise, chart associated noise contours, and outline measures to both attenuate noise and minimize exposure to it. Over the course of California's history, communities across the state have experienced discrimination through unjust land use policies and practices. Recognizing these injustices, the city seeks to promote the fair treatment and meaningful involvement of all people, regardless of race, color, national origin, or income level. To this end, goals, policies, and action items supporting environmental justice will be woven into the fabric of the updated general plan. While the city does not include communities that technically qualify as disadvantaged, as currently defined by the state, the city is committed to addressing the needs of underserved residents by mitigating disproportionate environmental impacts, maintaining adequate public facilities and services, and improving access to healthy food, safe and sanitary housing, and other essentials. The General Plan Update provides an opportunity for those of us invested in Oceanside to share our concerns and aspiration for the city's future. Onward Oceanside will include a robust and multifaceted community engagement program that will utilize both traditional and contemporary means of sharing information and soliciting input. In light of COVID-19, initial engagement efforts will leverage email, the city's website, social media, online survey tools, and remote meeting technology to establish an inclusive and productive dialogue with community members. To stay apprised of the status of the project and communicate directly with the project team, please visit the Onward Oceanside webpage and add your name to our interested parties list. You are also invited to reach out to Project Manager Russ Cunningham via email or telephone. We look forward to working with you and other stakeholders to craft a positive, dynamic, and welcoming vision of what lies ahead for the City of Oceanside.